Well, hello and welcome to the most unusual tarot reading on the internet and maybe anywhere else. This is the Tao Manifested Tarot reading. Glad to have you along. What makes this different? Primarily two things. First, I go at it realistically. I don't do the hairy-fairy stuff, the magic sounding stuff, the stuff that you usually get, not just from tarot readings, but astrology readings. People like to fantasize. I don't do that. I believe, and I've done tarot for 20 years, tarot is the science of potential, your potential. And that a good reading, any good reading, tarot or otherwise, needs to be clear, precise, concise. You need to know what the message is. And doing tarot for over 20 years, again, I found it, for me, it didn't predict anything, or at least for the people who I was reading. And I discovered that it was your potential. There's an energy in the reading. I use 3 cards, only 3 cards, because I'm looking for the frequency. Now, that's the first step towards manifesting. If you got the frequency, you can start to make the pictures in your head. And you need to make the pictures from within yourself, not coming from outside. That is, computer stuff. Desktops, laptops, smartphones, artificial intelligence. When you get it from the outside in, it makes you less creative. It makes you dumber, literally dumber. There have been a series of studies done over 3 decades, maybe 4, where it shows that kids entering kindergarten have a tremendous amount of creativity, almost 100% of the kids. And by the time they graduate from college, especially with PhDs, creativity is gone. They're good at memorizing. They're good at puking the stuff, the information that they got back, but actually thinking, and not so much. Not so much. So it's important for me to really focus in on the tarot, that science of potential. But I don't stop there. This is the second thing that makes it different in terms of a reading. I also get to numerology and astrology. Those are the science of cycles. They are predictive in the sense that you can see cycles. You take a look at somebody's chart, and even if they're brand new baby born type stuff, you can still kind of lay out their life, ups and downs. You can talk about their personality, their character. There's a lot of information that you get. And if you focus on the journey, not so much the stuff that happens on the sides, the minutiae, you can get a very good reading on somebody. And that's not anything fantastic. It is literally just recognizing cycles. 250 years ago, the United States of America separated from England, Declaration of Independence. Well, there were 2 major planets there that took 250 years to connect up again, because Pluto takes 250 years to go around our solar system. Uranus, it went around several times, but the 2 met a couple of years back. And so what we're seeing is kind of a revolutionary spirit energy again here in the United States. Not only that, but the world as well. And if you remember back, of course nobody was here at the time, from a historical perspective, let's put it, right after the American Revolution, the French had their revolution. There was a lot of shakeup. Same thing here. The whole world is looking at revolution and evolution. Which of the two? How do you want to mix them? So that energy gets repeated, and that's why I add in the numerology and the astrology, the science of cycles, along to tarot, the science of your potential. Very important stuff. It creates kryptonite. That's what I call it, kryptonite. So that you can get out there and make a better world for yourself. Not perfect world, but a better world. So let's get to the tarot reading, the Tao Manifested Tarot reading. It is basically dealing with a fork in the road. In other words, we have only 2 options in front of us right now. Either to get stronger or to get weaker. There is no in between. There's no mix. Either you're going to get strong or you're going to continue to stay weak. And if you take a look around the world, people are standing up, they're yelling. what was there, a bridge, I think it was in Australia this weekend, where there were hundreds of thousands of people walking this huge bridge in Australia, protesting. It was amazing. I think it was the biggest protest they've ever had. The folks in Europe making noise. Not seeing a whole hell of a lot of noise coming out of people here in the United States of America, although we are seeing our neighbors to the north, the 4 western provinces, they're making noise. So again, we are confronted. Time is ticking. Time is running out. The astrology says 2027 is going to be significant, and 2030, and then we get into the 2040s and all bets are off. We're out of time. We are out of time. You have to make the decision. No, I know it's not pleasant to be forced into this position. Either you get stronger or you get weak, or stay weak. If you stay weak, you're going to create a hell for yourself, your friends, your family, everybody. I mean, it's going to be dystopian like you can't believe. You won't be able to wipe your ass without them knowing about it, and how many sheets of toilet paper you used. And they'll tell you whether or not you've used too many sheets of toilet paper. That's the world, and I'm not making a joke. I'm not making fun. This is what they want. This is what they said. So, fork in the road, strong or weak, those are your options. So with that in mind, let's move on. Let's go to the astrology. I talked about it. Let's do it. For the past couple of weeks, I've been working with the conquest of America. Since we do have our 250th anniversary coming up in a year, I said it'd be a good thing to do. And I use the astrology anyway, not a big deal. But the numerology says that this is a number 9 universal year, 9 wrapping things up. We're in an 8 month, we're in August, so this is the month to manifest. You're seeing things, you're seeing their plans, you're feeling the effects. Take a look at the skies, take a look at the heat, take a look at the weather, among other things. Now I understand the chemtrails. Bill Gates either wants to or has already added mRNA vaccine material into the clouds so that you're going to breathe it in. So even if you haven't had the vax, you're still going to get this crap in you. And there's so many people who have it, you probably already have some of this stuff inside you, whether you got the shot or didn't. All this information coming out, you're seeing what's happening, the curtain is dropping. You're going to get weaker, going to get stronger. You're at that fork in the road. What are you going to do? So again, back to the astrology. We're talking about a real life Monopoly game. If you're familiar with the game Monopoly, it works the way the American economic system works. And the results are the same. You get somebody who buys up all the hotels. You get them to buy Broadway Park Place or Boardwalk Park Place. Some of the nicer properties there. They get to a point where they really have control of the game. And the idea is to wipe out the competition, to have a monopoly. Well, that's the way the American system works. We're in a real life Monopoly game. I'm going to explain why quickly. Remember, 1700, Adam Smith talked about capitalism. What that was usury banking, had been around for thousands of years. It was evil. He just gave it a fresh face and made it seem like, oh, isn't this great? So 1700, Adam Smith comes up with this bullshit idea of capitalism. And anybody who defends capitalism, let's talk. What has capitalism done for the American middle class, as an example? Geez, we're poor, we're broke, we're running out of money, we have no jobs. Sorry, you can't use the capital. Capitalism leads to fascism. Anyway, Adam Smith starts to sell the idea of capitalism. The rich people buy onto it because it works for them. Just after the Revolutionary War, 1791, we establish a national bank. That's a very important situation there. What it was the Rothschilds from Britain trying to impose their same banking situation they had in Britain. They owned the Bank of England. So they wanted the same thing here. They wanted the first bank of the United States. So 1791, they got a charter. Hamilton pushed it along. Hamilton was a fascist. And it gave them 20 years where they could establish this First National Bank. 1803, Nathan Rothschild, the man who ran the Rothschild Empire, defined fascism for us, and we're going to take care of that in just a minute. I mean, there's no denying it. He says it plain and clear. So you see, from 1700 to 1803, about 100 years, we go from capitalism right into fascism. And the vehicle was the First National Bank. Keep countries in debt. Real important tool. Also around this same time, the United States purchases Louisiana Territory. Doubles the American size, literally. We added more land, which was not ours to begin with, but that's a different discussion. The point is, it was a purchase that increased our size. Now, the planets working at that time were Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. Same planets that are really energizing us right now in about the same way. I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune says you're going to establish something that's going to be big, but you're not going to see it. The Neptune part says you're not going to see all of it. They're going to hide some of it. But you don't care. The Jupiter, Saturn stuff kind of makes up for it. During this time, we see the expansion of America. We see the establishment of their First National Bank. What are we dealing with today? We're talking about killing the Fed, the very thing that has stolen America, capitalism, fascism, and the Fed Reserve. And interestingly, Canadian provinces are thinking of joining the United States, adding more space to America. I don't know if it's going to turn out, but isn't it interesting? Because around 1800, we're dealing with the First National Bank. Now today, the Fed. We're dealing with the Louisiana Purchase. Today, Canadian provinces are thinking of joining us. Really kind of a fascinating connection, and I just thought I wanted to bring it up to you just to give you an opportunity to think about it a little bit. So now let's go to the meme of the day. Right now, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and I think Neptune, Pluto probably are involved as well. They're all lining up. This is unusual. It doesn't happen very often. Happened the last time in February. So the stuff from February is now repeating, completing. We're seeing their plans, the things that they talked about at the beginning of the year, come to fruition. You're seeing this dystopian world. They're not hiding it anymore. It's right out there in the open, in our face. That's why you have to get stronger or you stay weak. That's the fork in the road. And it's a situation you just can't walk away from. Missing link for today. Let's go back to this idea of the Rothschilds and the United States Bank. The first bank of the United States was a national bank. Chartered by the U.S. Congress, 1791, they had a 20-year term. Alexander Hamilton, a fascist, put all this together. He said he wanted them to control the nation's debt, issue currency, facilitate commerce. In other words, what they wanted was somebody who was going to watch out for big business and make sure that, just like a monopoly game, they won. Here's the part that is interesting. Meyer Amschel Rothschild, 1803, the man who was at that point running the Rothschild Empire that had been around for a couple hundred years already, but he was the one that took it into the modern ages. Amschel Rothschild said, "Let me issue and control the nation's money. I care not who writes the laws." That's fascism. It's business owning government, and that's what we have today, and that's why the people in Washington don't give a damn about you. They don't care what you want. George Carlin was absolutely right. Again, fork in the road. You're going to get stronger, you're going to stay weak. That's up to you. How about now we get to the tarot, Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups says, okay, I got this connection, because that's what cups are. It doesn't necessarily mean romance. It means some sort of an emotional connection. I got this connection. I got to give it up. I got to give it up. I got to walk away. And I can't look back. The way we have run our country and the world needs to change. We have to walk away and not look back. You want a little clue, a little help? Think of the Amish. Think of what they put together and how they are doing as a people. They're doing very well. They're not sick. They don't have the problems that we do. They're secure as long as the government doesn't mess with them. And that could be a whole different discussion. But my point is this. We have to change our value system. We have to change our affection to capitalism and fascism. Do something that is better and fairer for everybody. Not perfect, but better. And now we got the Queen of Cups. She's calm. She's intuitive. She's supportive. Making that transition, walking away from the current system, the Eight of Cups, and not looking back, you have to be supportive of yourself. You have to be gentle with yourself. You have to be calm. Trust your gut. You feel you can do something better. Believe it. Trust it. That's loving and respecting yourself without being a narcissist. And the final, Knight of Swords. Knights always bring gifts, and the Knight of Swords brings information that's going to free you. Take a look at this guy on the horse. Man, he is charging full speed ahead. Again, either you're going to get stronger or you're going to get weaker. You have no choice. I don't give a damn what you're telling yourself right now. You got no choice. You know that. You've been lying to yourself for years. Time to get down to business. You want it better? It's going to be different. Or you want it worse? It's going to be really different. That's up to you. But you have to act with certainty, and you'll be able to do it if you walk away from the stuff that you're emotionally connected to now. You really support yourself in a calm and loving way and say, doggone it, I can do better. And then the Knight of Swords says you're out there doing it. We're out of time for today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it muchly. You are a friend of mine, and I can't put it any better. It's just, it is what it is. I'm thrilled that you're here, and I'm thrilled we have this chance. Hey, please like and subscribe. It's very important in terms of us fighting with the powers that be, not just for me in this podcast, but every podcast. Please like and subscribe. Between now and the next time you and I get together and do this tarot kind of thing together, peace and blessings.